Ladies and gentlemen, RosterWatch Nation, welcome back to the RosterWatch Underdog Pick'em Show, brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can sign up for Underdog right now for a 50% deposit bonus up to $250. I think they're actually doing it like higher now. We might need to, I think that there's some other, just use promo code ROSTER whenever you go there. Make sure and pick up some extra cash over on Underdog. Our picks last week, not quite as good as they'd been before, but still sitting at just under 60% on these for the year. So hoping to kind of get back in the saddle this week. Trashman had to bail on doing the show because he was sick on the Sirius XM show and we ran out of voice. So we're calling in the reliever for Cody Carpentier here with Alex Dunlap. And we're going to go through this one real quick. All right. So Cody, I'll go through the picks that I put in on Underdog, and here they are. For Caleb Williams, 223.5 passing yards. I'm going higher. This is a good matchup versus the Los Angeles Rams. We actually like the Chicago Bears as the 3-point favorites in this game, with the Rams coming off a real high last week and kind of leaving it all on the field. I mean, 223.5. I mean, you're getting Keenan Allen back this week, and you're coming off a week where the run game is completely broken. They're having to say they're going to try and get Roschon Johnson more involved, and Caleb Williams just threw 363 last week. Yep. I mean, 232. It's like, come on. Caleb Williams higher. James Conner higher than 13.85 fantasy points. This is just very simple. This is going to be a big game for James Conner. And it's just Washington. You know, you start these guys versus the Commanders. And whenever, James Conner, his primary competition is guys like Emari DeMarcado and Trey Benson, who can't get on the football field. It's going to be a big week for him. We have him projected more like 16 points and half-point PPR. So we're getting a couple of points of value there. And I kind of think he might go bigger than our projection. So James Conner, I'm going higher than 13.85 receiving yards, 13.85 fantasy points. Stephon Diggs, higher than 5.5 receptions. This one also is very self-explanatory. It's an incredibly good matchup. And there's no Tank Dell. And if you look at the number, I think he's gone over this twice this year. Let me make sure I'm right about that. I think he's done this twice already. So yeah, he's had 6, 4, and 10 receptions over the course of the last 3 weeks, going over 5.5 in this spot, and a great matchup with no Tank Dell, who seems super, this seems super actionable to me. Darnell Mooney, higher than 39.5 receiving yards. Darnell Mooney's just getting used, dude. You know what I mean? He's more of a featured weapon in that offense than you would think for a dude that just has a 39.5 receiving yard over under. It's for the last 2 weeks, he's gone for, what was it, 60 something? What was it? It was 88 in week 2, 66 on 7 and 8 targets these last 2 weeks. Now, he did have the 3 target week 1, but everything went cockamamie and sideways in week 1 whenever he was trying to jump off a bridge about Drake London. I think that they're starting to correct that stuff. 39.5. Darnell Mooney is more of a player in that offense, and we have him projected as closer to 55 receiving yards. So we're going to take the over on 39.5. Jacoby Brissett, higher than 3.5 sacks taken. I think that this is the ultimate implosion spot for Jacoby Brissett, wherever I don't think he'll get benched in game, but he'll eventually I think he'll get benched after this game. Wait, who do the Patriots have next, Cody? Do you know?
I don't track the Patriots like that.
So I remember it was a tough stretch of games. I was saying to myself, they're going to keep Brissett in through a certain point.
I do believe you're the one that creates the matchup tool with the schedules. So I believe you should.
Yeah, no, I think that this. So it basically kind
Dolphins.
It kind of ends with I think that you can safely say that I think Drake May is probably going to be in there for October. This is it for Jacoby Brissett. He's averaged taking 4 sacks over the course of the last 2 weeks, and he is the offensive line is miserable. It's a good defense. They're traveling west. It's like, come on. We take Jacoby Brissett higher than 3.5 sacks. Rashee Rice higher than 14.35 fantasy points. Again, it seems pretty easy to me. Only half point PPR on Underdog, but We haven't projected as something closer to 17. So I think he has a good game this week. This one I added on late, but I could not believe it when how is Najee Harris averaging 21 carries per game right now, and Jaylen Warren's not going to play in this one against a team in the Indy that gets run all over. And it's got to be obvious to Tomlin and Arthur Smith, who wants to run the ball more, that's the way to win against these guys. And Jaylen Warren's not in this game. And they put Najee Harris's rushing attempts at 17.5. Is that Cordero Patterson?
Like, yeah, Cordero Patterson was on the list as well. Like he's been bagged up since back to camp. I got Najee Harris as a top 10 play this week at the running back position. So.
He's getting more than 17.5 rushing attempts. So get that one on there. As far as what Trashman had, I don't have his rationale for these, but these are going on the record, so I'm just going to go ahead and read them out. He likes Saquon Barkley higher than 104.5 rushing plus receiving yards. Chris Godwin higher than 65.5 receiving yards. He likes Christian Watson higher than 34.5 receiving yards. He likes Jalen Naylor, even with Jordan Addison coming back, higher than 19.5 plus rushing plus receiving yards. He likes Rashid Shaheed higher than 46.5 receiving yards, and he likes Dalton Schultz lower than 32.5 receiving yards. He also added in Tyler Algier higher than 6.5 rushing attempts. Cody, you have 3 of these. Let's get them out to the people.
Dalton Schultz is interesting. South of 32.5 with the Tank Dell thing coming into consideration. I was looking at Dalton Schultz. I believe the number was like, I want to say it was 4 receptions. I was looking at it. I was thinking about it. I didn't do it, but I was thinking about it. For my 3 this week, I only got 3. I'm staying low key. We're gonna go.
You weren't expecting to have to do the show. So.
I wasn't. I honestly wasn't expecting to do the show, and I put these 3 in here this morning before either of you guys put picks in, just because I wanted to get these are the 3 I felt best about. I wanted to make sure I got them in here, so I do feel good about these, and they're not just lob them in there. These are. I mean, we're going 3-0 with these 3 picks this week. Josh Downs came back last week for the first week back with the Colts. 16 routes, 5 targets. They're going against Pittsburgh this week. Pittsburgh, Joey Porter Jr., 6'2", 200-pound cornerback, going to match up predominantly, I would say, on Michael Pittman. Again, we haven't seen a lot out of Michael Pittman this year so far, but it's going to bring more targets inside the Josh Downs, who gave us 5 on 16 routes last week. So we're going to, I mean, this feels like a complete, I guess, as they'd say, don't talk against yourself, but this feels like a complete layup here from Josh Downs. Austin Seibert in the Washington and Arizona game, 6.5 kicking points. Anytime I've been making some very dense grass alfalfa hay with kicking points this year. Austin Seibert, 6.5 points. When you see a number for kicking around 6 or 6.5, and you expect this game to be higher scoring like I do with Arizona and Washington, I'm going north, higher than 6.5 kicking points. And then Sam Darnold against the Packers. The Packers are first in NFL right now in turnovers, and Sam Darnold has been playing great. This is a divisional game. He's going to be pressing that football into some tight gaps. I do believe we do get that interception this week from Sam Darnold. It's a half, I think, is the number. He's got 8 touchdowns and 2 picks so far this year, so we're going to go higher than the half interception for our guy Sammy Ballgame up there in Minnesota.
Use promo code ROSTER at Underdog Fantasy at sign up. Go put in these picks. You can listen back through the show, mix and match the ones that you like. You can just pick 2 of them together. You can put 3 of them together, 4, whatever you want to do, all the way up to 6 or 7 of these things. So go try and make like 50x your money this weekend. And when you do, make sure to use promo code ROSTER when you sign up. You can click the QR code there, or just go to Underdog Fantasy and use the promo code ROSTER for that big deposit match.
This is Anthony Richardson. You're listening to